Let's talk about how you decide on a niche that is right for you. That's the key piece. One that works for you and one that people will pay you for. We'll be talking about that too. I want to talk to you about building a boutique style coaching business. If this is a concept that is new to you, I want to take just a moment to explain this to you. That sort of frames also the perfect niche is part of building your boutique style business. These three pictures are just representative of you reframing in your mind that you actually have a business that is just like this. We sometimes end up in our space thinking about we just have this online thing. And when we have just this online thing, we don't treat it like a business, just like you would one of these shops that you actually go unlock the door on and you put up the sign that says, I'm open for business. We're guilty of not doing that. So I love to use this example of what it looks like to actually have a business. Your boutique style coaching business, for most of you guys, you're going to want it to be high touch. I like to help you have a real personal brand that is designed just around an aesthetic for you. I want it to really reflect your expertise to match your desired lifestyle, because that's the other thing. You're building a business. For most of you guys, you want freedom in your schedule, and we all want freedom for different things, different timing in our days. So we want it to match your desires and also really match the clients that you do love. I'm Debbie Shadid. I've been at this for a long time, over 2 decades. I had my anniversary last night, hence the flowers. And my husband and I were reminiscing about this business that I have built. And he's been on the journey the whole time, all that I have done and accomplished. And it's pretty fun. So over 2 decades, helping women with all the same question. How do I do this thing? Any type niche that I have evolved in over the years, which has been 3 different times. I've evolved my niche 3 times in 26 years, actually. And I've helped the same thing. Like, how do I take what my passion is and turn it into something that I understand how to do? A lot of that is business questions. A lot of it today is tech questions, marketing questions, social media offers, and all that. I'm a wife, a mom, a Gigi. I don't know who came up with that name, but Lucy did. It's my granddaughter who's 3, and then Jack, my grandson. I love all things business. I'm going to go through 5 factors for choosing your perfect niche. Again, we'll review at the end, so you don't have to take notes. Your niche is the cornerstone of everything that you're going to do in your business. It's the foundation of your coaching business. Everything that you do is going to build on this one thing. We really want to make sure that we get it right. That sounds like a lot of pressure when I say that, like everything is weighing on this one decision. And yet it is. And also it's not. Like at some point, we got to get on with it. We need to make a decision. I would say that truthfully today, you could make a decision on a niche. I'd love it if we could have a conversation to flesh out like anything that maybe I see that isn't quite maybe narrowed enough or quite right for you, but you can really decide today. The main part of this is to make a decision today based on what I tell you, and then to not change your mind. That's the whole place that we get into trouble, is we continue to change our mind. You cannot build a business if you keep changing your mind. To have a business that you can really enjoy, that doesn't feel really heavy to operate and like hard, you need to have something that is effortless. And that happens when you have the right niche. It also happens when you understand what to do. But that definitely, when you don't have to study, learn, when you have confidence around your niche, it's much more easier to run your business. So today you're going to learn and also discover why choosing the right niche matters in ways that you're not considering. I want to deliver some questions to you that will help you get some clarity. We can brainstorm and I can help you at the end. I will be happy to answer any questions. I will be happy to point out to you where I think you might be not seeing an opportunity, or if I think something's completely wrong. Listen, I feel like it's my job to tell you that. So I'm happy to tell you that as well. Make sure you grab a pen, open a document, and we will be good to go. I want to set the record straight first of all. We often think that if we narrow our niche down, we're going to miss people. I'm guilty of this. I kept thinking like, no, I want to coach a bunch of people. I want to coach all the right people. I only coach women. I only coach women at the beginning stages of their business. I've had many people who've said, but you do business at an advanced stage. Can't you help us? No, I can't, because that's not my niche. Could I help them? Of course I could, but that's not my niche. We will sell people so much easier if they know that we're talking to them. And if we know how to serve them, if we know how to get them a result, we can sell them so much easier. They will pay for the result that we know how to get them. Narrowing down will actually help people say, she's talking to me. That's really what we want to do, because think about it. Any marketing that you do, any emails that you send, any workshops that you do, people are going to know that you're talking to them. Right now, I'm talking to women that are at the beginning stages of their business. They're stalled out on this one thing. They're like, I cannot figure out, is this the right place for me to be? So when you narrow down, it will help you find the right people. When I promote this workshop or do any of my promotion, I speak to the woman who is exactly, hopefully, in the place that you're at right now, which is either just getting started working with very few clients or just has an idea that really is getting ready to go into motion. So the goal for choosing the right niche, it really does matter. You want to select a niche that will attract the type of client that you know how to find. Hear me on that. You have to find people to sell your coaching to. We have to find a niche where you could say, I already know where that person is, somebody that you know how to talk to, and that you can help. That is important. Find them, talk to them, and that you can help. You want to select a niche based on your combined expertise. Most of you here are multi-passionate women. You have either studied a bunch of stuff, you have maybe been in a long career that is part of your business that you're going to be doing to help people. You've been a mother, you've been a grandmother, whatever part you bring to your business, there's a high chance you have combined expertise that we want to make sure that you combine this expertise properly to be the best coach for that niche. You want to select a niche that you know how to talk about. So marketing is everything, right? If you don't know how to talk about, and I said first talk to, and now I just said talk about. So talk to, how do you engage with them? But talk about, how do you describe what it is that's happening to them? And then we have to have a niche where there's market demand. I always say we have to find a niche where people are going to pay. So let's talk about niche drama. This is one of the things that keeps people stuck. Oh, I'm just so sad sometimes when I meet somebody at a workshop and 2 years later, they're back again at another workshop. And I don't blame you or anything, but it's like they still have questions about a niche, which means in those 2 years, they helped nobody with whatever their niche problem is. They made no money. They made no progress on their business. Niche drama, it is a real thing. And if you don't decide on a niche where you can confidently make a decision, you seriously will not get your business built. You really won't. We got to get that figured out. I know that you are an expert at something. I'm going to help you figure out what that is. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. We're going to discover what your niche is and what you are an expert in, and then we're going to own it. That's the one thing. We're going to own the decision of what we're an expert at. The goal is to find the thing that you are good at, that you know inside and out, that you don't even have to practice or study for. We're going to make some decisions. I want you to write down the first thing that comes up for you. What are you doing your day to day? And maybe you're like, I don't want to do what I'm doing in my day to day. I want to get out of it. But there might be some portion of that has something to do with the niche you're going to pick. What do you spend your time thinking about? All of us that are doing probably what we're going to do, our bookshelves, or when we go to a bookstore, if we do in person, everything that we're looking at is based on what we're interested in. The conversations that we're having with friends are all about this thing that we're most passionate about. Chances are, if I was to open up your Instagram app, or if I looked at your YouTube to see what you were watching, there's things that are related to your niche, people that you're following. What gets you fired up? What could you just talk about, explain, convince, try to shake people and make them understand? That's got to be probably what your niche is. And if you are talking to ChatGPT, like, you guys aren't doing this, you should pick it up, press the microphone, just have a conversation. The only caveat to this is you do have to tell ChatGPT, please remember everything I'm going to say in this voice conversation and document it. Otherwise, as y'all might know, it doesn't document those conversations. What are you talking to ChatGPT about? All of those are indicators of what your niche should be. We're gathering data. Let's talk about the benefits of niching and why I want you to choose a niche today. Niching minimizes competition. Yeah, if you niche down, You're going to minimize your competition. And I want you to hear me on this. You're not going to leave anyone out. I help women who are over 50, and I'm going to bet there's women under 50 here. I'm just going to bet there is. And some of my clients are 30 and 25. But when I speak to an audience that is over 50 about tech, about marketing, about really needing a step-by-step process to have a business, the people who are 25 and 30, they also heard that and they're like, I don't care if she said over 50, I need that thing because she's actually talking to me. Niching minimizes competition, but it doesn't cut out people. We have plenty of people under 50 that we work with. Anyway, I'm not looking at your faces. I don't know who you are right now that's under 50, but I want you to know that's the purpose of niching. This is one of the ways that you beat the AI game. And I'm getting ready to say that on the next slide, but you beat the AI game. This is why I said specifically last August, I only coach women over 50 because that helps separate me from AI, from what people would find on AI. It added a layer that makes me unique. If you think about the example that I said right here, Arms by Christine Rucker is a good friend of mine. Arms by Christine is her business. What she really does is weight loss, life coaching and weight loss. But her arms look amazing. Everybody that comes to work with her because her arms are like phenomenal, but she's really helping with weight loss. And she's basically helping with your mindset. That's an example of why niching down is great. By the way, she has a phenomenal business. You can really segment your audience by figuring out how to narrow down. We'll talk about that. Again, I just mentioned to you, you want to build a gap between you and AI. That is. Hey coaches, it's Debbie Shadid here. I've got something very special for you. If you're trying to figure out how to get coaching clients on your own and you're wondering what to post, how to explain what you do, or how to actually sell your coaching, this is for you. I'm inviting you to join me for a live edition of the Fast Track and VIP coaching experiences. This is your chance to stop spinning in indecision and finally take those actions that are needed to build a profitable coaching business. You'll get the answers, the guidance, the support you're looking for, plus real-time feedback on your niche, your offers, and your marketing. Spots are very limited and enrollment closes soon. Let's connect. DebbieShadid.com/schedule to claim your spot and to talk about your options. Let's get you clients faster and easier than you ever imagined. Not just an essential thing to do today, but that's going to become more important as we go along. And then gaining expert status, like Christine, if we were to talk about her again, she is the expert at arms. We want to narrow down your niche so that you become the expert to that person. And we also want our marketing to speak to a specific problem that they would hear. You're here because you need to get clients. That's a specific problem. I don't know how to get clients for my coaching business. There's many things that I do to help people get clients, but that's the specific problem. That is the message that people pay attention to. It's like, you're right. I'm an expert. Like, I'm already a coach. I know what I'm doing. I just can't get any clients. This is the key to getting people to stick. The reality check here is that niching will make your business easier to market. I know exactly what to say because there's 3 pain points that my client has around. The main pain point is I need to get coaching clients. I don't know how to do it. And the problems are I'm terrible at tech. I don't love social media and I don't even know what to say. Those are the 3 problems underneath I need to get clients. You can see that if you would niche, it will make your marketing easier. It's easier to tell people how you're going to help them. It's easier to make an offer to help them. It's easier to do your marketing. And marketing, this isn't a marketing workshop today, but marketing is the only way that you get clients. You have to talk about what you're doing. It will also help you get better outcomes for people. When you're really specific about what it is you're doing for them, they come out the other side and they actually give you a testimonial that actually fits what it is you said you're going to do for them. All right, let's go through the 5 factors for considering a niche. Factor number 1 is to explore your passions and your interests. We just talked about that in a general kind of way. I went through those questions. What is the thing that you are living, breathing, thinking, talking about? Are you consumed with it? You need to be thinking about this. And chances are it's been going on for years. It's been on your mind. It's been on your heart. You feel like this is the God-given thing you're supposed to do. This niche, this person inside and out. The first factor is that you have to be obsessed with that thing. I have built a business. I know all about everything that I'm teaching you. I've lived it, I've done it, and I've experienced it. Have you done that with the niche that you want to coach? And then to make sure that there's market demand, this is key. I don't want you to get hung up on this. I don't want you to do a bunch of research, but it is important to find out, do I actually know somebody who has the same interest and same passion as me? If there is somebody else doing this, is a good sign. That means that there's people who will pay for what it is that you want to do as well. And trust me, there's millions and millions of people in this world, and there's not enough coaches for them. If you are personally connected with people who want to solve the same problem that you want to coach around, this is a good sign, guys, because we have to find people. And you might be saying right now, those people are not going to be my clients. But if you're personally connected with anyone who wants to solve the problem that you want to coach on, then that means there's more of those same people. And then looking at statistics, I'll tell you, ChatGPT is amazing for stats. You can go in there and ask for any kind of stat that you want to prove and create evidence that there is demand for your business. I will say you should ask it to give you the source where it came from, because it does sometimes make up things, right? You should ask for a source, because chances are you'll use this in your marketing too. All right, finding your people. Where do they hang out? Where's your person? You cannot just find your people online. You have to be able to know where they are located, where they hang out, where they spend their time. Yes, finding them online is going to be critical as well, but where are they? If you don't know where to find your people, my friend, we're going to be in trouble. Where do they hang out? The second factor, again, competition is good. If you can narrow yourself past your competition, that's even better. I'm going to use weight loss as the example again, because this is something that we all have seen, we all can understand. If you are going to talk about weight loss, these are many different ways right here that you can narrow down your weight loss niche. Losing your first 10, losing your last 10, right? Losing weight without tracking, without shots, during menopause, while vacationing, without counting on exercise, lose weight with fast food. Those are all narrow niches. And those are all things that somebody would say, lose weight with fast food. That's speaking to me. I need to talk to that person, right? Because I only eat fast food. The third thing is to do one competitive analysis. I really want to emphasize this. That's why I said do a little research and one competitive analysis, because I want us to spend our time looking at all this stuff. You don't need to look at your competitors. When you look at your competitors too much, you end up judging yourself. And if we're looking at competitors, they already have successful businesses and you're just getting started. You are not where they are. We're just going to do the research to find out where they are. One time we're doing market research. Have you actually Googled? I'm going to bet the answer is no. It's so interesting, these simple questions. Have you talked to ChatGPT about this niche? Like, where do I find my people? Have you searched on social media? Have you looked for Facebook groups that specifically have to do with your person? Look and see however many other coaches there are in this space. I'm going to bet that if you guys have been on social media and you have been looking at people that have a similar niche, you might have the thought right now that the market feels flooded with your competitors. And I'll just point out to you that if it's on Instagram, let's say, Instagram is doing its job by showing you the people who are in that niche. Because if you looked for somebody in that niche and you engaged in a post for the niche that you're going to have, it says to the algorithm, hey, this person is interested in this kind of thing. It will feel like, oh my gosh, there are so many people doing what it is I want to do. Just remember, the algorithm did its job. So you do need to know that there's competition. Again, how many coaches? Again, it doesn't matter how many business coaches there are. I know what my value is. Doesn't matter how many weight loss coaches there are. You would know what your value is. And then surveying people. Inside of our program, we actually have surveys. We talk about doing research and getting information from that person to really assess their interest. And also it's a way to create a marketing message. And just final note, this is not for you to judge yourself. This is just to gather information. I recommend anybody that you're following, that sort of makes you feel bad about yourself, like in compared to your niche, just unfollow them. You don't actually need to see what your competitors are doing at this point. I just wanted to prove to you that you have a viable niche. Now let's quit looking at them because I want your ideas to come from you. I want you to know how you're going to get noticed. If you think about everyone else, what will make you different? And some of these questions you're going to have to think about, but what will make you different? What will make you memorable? For me, it's like what makes me different is I literally tell people what to do. We tell you what to do based on your niche. We answer questions that nobody answers. That's my key thing that I say. What is it that you would say? That does make me memorable. I'm also a truth teller. Like I want to be in integrity. And I think what goes on in the online space right now is a bunch of BS. I think there's a bunch of people that are telling things that are not accurate, that are misleading people. And I feel like the defender of like, it's possible to build a business, but you don't make $1 million this year. It's possible to do this and you don't need this. So what is going to be different about you that is going to make you memorable? A memorable business will stand the test of time. Yeah, it's a memorable business that's based around you, what you naturally know, based on your experience, your age, your results, all of that. The third factor is to stand out in your market by being yourself and by doing what you do best. This is how you become an expert. A lot of times people are like, oh, I love your aesthetic and I want to do it the way you do it. I don't want you to do it the way I do it. I want you to do it the way you do it. You have to be you and you have to look like you. I know I'm talking about niche right now, but the next thing that sort of comes after this that we work with clients on is personal brand identity. How are you going to be seen in the market? And that sort of follows that last question of how do you stand out? What is it that will make you different? What will make you memorable? We have to know what you stand for, how you get noticed, and you do it by being your best self. If you're a super casual person, then you need to be casual. Maybe you want people to feel really welcome to come as they are to a coaching session. That's different. I like this sort of structured, buttoned up look like I have. This is the way I live my life. And so people are attracted to that. Whoever it is that you want to work with will be attracted to you because your brand, all of that speaks to a specific person, right? The fourth factor is to consider your expertise and your experience. We've talked again about this. What is the transformation that you have had specifically in regards to this niche? Have you received coaching on this? Have you had coaching? I don't want to get sidetracked here, but if you have not worked with a coach, and I'm not talking about you working with me, I do want you to work with me, but I'm not talking about that. If you have not worked with a coach, I think it's not realistic for you to expect somebody to buy coaching from you. And that kind of hurts. But in reality, you need to experience coaching yourself. You need to know what it's like. Oftentimes, women in our demographic, I'll say, they've gone and gotten a coach certification because they're going to do this as like their exit career or their second career, their second act. But if you haven't paid for coaching yourself and you haven't been coached, it's going to be harder for you to sell it, honestly. If you've received coaching, what's the results that coaching created for you? What makes you an expert at the niche? What qualifies you? What life experience, career experience, all of that. Your personal transformation, I believe, is necessary for connection to clients. Now, there are many times that we could find I'm an expert at, let's say, treating cancer with a holistic approach and you haven't had cancer. That might be an exception to the rule, but for most of you guys, your personal transformation is part of what it is you're doing. I'm going to share about me and you'll see how this works. Your niche is you. It should be you. It should be the you before you solved your problem. And before I go on too far, it should be you because remember I said effortless business. We want you to know how to talk to people, find the people, talk about what you do. I'm recapping all the things I've already said. That is easy for you to do when you're talking about your own story. And when you've already solved the problem and you're like, wow, I mean, my life is so much easier now that I've done this thing. It's much easier for you to sell. So the me, before I created my framework that I use in my business, that I work with clients with, I literally worked night and day, 7 days a week till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It took so much longer for me to build my business and to make a lot of money, far longer than it needed to be. I literally ended up in the hospital. They thought I was having a heart attack. My daughter didn't get my attention. My husband didn't get my attention. Everything else was set aside. That's my story before. I cried. I mean, it was horrible. I'm sure you guys can relate, like trying to figure out how to do it. I understand. I've been at every stage that you've been at. The transformation for me began when I sat down. I said, okay, what is it that I have done that works for me? What is it that I've consistently done with the women? I've always been a business consultant for the last 25 years. What was it that I did with all of them that's common for me, common for them that worked? I created a roadmap. I put down a path. Once I had that path down, it's literally all I've done in my business. I do run paid ads. I don't recommend that for you guys at your stage, but that's the only thing different that I do. That's it. I run my process. I know how to do it. I've done it and it's changed my business. Today, I teach women who are where I was, right? Miserable, trying to figure it out, didn't know how to use the technology. I teach that person, either who I was over 2 decades ago, or you're that person today. When you think about a niche, are you living in this niche? I lived in the past example and the current example. And I have to tell you, for most of you, you will relate to this. I also live in the miserable middle sometimes still in my business. I'm still really, because I'm growing, I still am in it with you guys. I guess I'll say that. Like, I know what it's like to have an off day. I know what it's like to feel like, oh my goodness, burned out over the same things that you might get burned out. So I'm living at past and current experience. All right. Factor number 5, which is the last one, is just really knowing your niche's needs. Could you sit down and list what the pain points are? I talked to you guys about a few of your pain points. I could go deeper than that. What are the pain points? They're the same pain points that I had, the same ones. I was like, for goodness sakes, why can't somebody answer a question for me? Like, why can't somebody tell me what to do? Those were such big pain points for me. I was trying to find help. Nobody would help me. What are your pain points for your person? What have they tried that did not solve their problem? For me, it was like, oh my goodness. I'm not even going to add up how many hundreds of thousands of dollars in 25 years I've spent on hiring my own help, but it's in the hundreds of thousands. I've tried all of that. I've had experts come in and help me. I have team members help me, all of that to try to solve my problems. So I understand what I've tried that didn't work. I also understand what my client wants, why they want it. And I have supported people with that same problem. Even if you're not being paid, there's a high chance that girlfriend of yours or that friend of yours that's looking for a job and you're a career coach, you've helped them, right? You've helped them because that's just naturally what you do. 3 key questions that I want you to ask yourself that will sort of finalize this niche portion is, does the person that you want to help, do they already know that they have a problem? Are they clear about it? Sometimes when women come to work with me, they are so evolved, like they've had coaching, they've had transformation, and like they're so elevated that the person, the way they're talking about their business is like way up here and the person's still down here. There's a big disconnect. I have to talk to you where you are today, which is in that miserable beginning of trying to figure out, how do I find people? How do I talk to people? I can't talk to you from here, right? I have to remember what it's like to be there. So you do have to make sure that you are talking to somebody at that level. Otherwise, the person's not going to know you're talking to them. They're not going to identify as, yeah, I understand what my problem is. You have to make sure that you are talking to somebody who can make a decision independently. Many of you guys are in relationships. You have to talk to somebody else about this decision if you're going to hire me or you're going to hire a coach, whatever. Hire me, hire your person is going to hire you. But you want to be talking to a person who says, okay, I have respect for my partner. We make decisions together, but I'm deciding for myself what I want to do. Whether you're a health coach or whatever you are, fill in the blank. You want to make sure that the person that you are saying is your ideal niche client, I'll say most of us are going to coach women, is an independent woman who says, I can decide what's best for me. I respect the fact that I need to have a conversation with somebody, but I'll decide what's best for me. That person is going to be much easier to sell to. And then the third one is, do they have the money to pay for the coaching? And will they spend money on coaching? Those are key factors. We don't want to sell to people who don't have money to buy coaching. We don't want to sell to people that we have to convince. Convincing, I've tried all this. It's not good. You don't want to convince people. You don't want to sell to people who have to go that number two. I've tried to sell to people who had to go sell me to somebody else. Yeah, you don't want to sell to somebody who has to sell you to somebody else. You guys following me? The fifth factor is that people will pay to get out of pain. There are many ways to get out of pain, and we can discuss all those, but these are like the four big buckets. Most of you guys will all fit into one of these, but people will pay to solve a health problem. They'll say pay to solve a money problem, which is like either changing careers, working on their finances, let's say getting out of debt, learning how to make more money in a small business. Maybe they've got work or business problems or personal problems like relationships, those kind of things. So your offer needs to deliver a result. And so we have to go back again. Do you know the result that they want? And could you get them that result? I know that there's a lot that I'm giving to you today. A lot of this is going to require you to think about this. But the simple truth is, if you're not sure, I don't know if I can get them a result, then you should pick a different niche. That's just that simple. Do not overpromise. I do not promise you guys, like those other crazy people online, I'm going to get you 20 clients this month. No way would I do that. That's not up to me. That's up to you. I promise that I'll partner with you and walk with you and answer your questions and show you how I've done it and show you how others have done it. But I don't promise things I can't do. Make sure that you can actually help somebody with what it is you're going to say that you can do for them. Pick a niche that requires you to not study. Okay, I've already talked about this. Again, you should be able to talk about this all day long. You should not have to say, I'm going to go take another course or I'm going to go practice my coaching. Yes, I love courses. I love coaching. I love practicing. I practice everything I do. Still today, 25 years later, I practice everything I do. But I don't want you to have to practice to be doing what you're doing. I want you to be ready today. You can practice and get better, but I want you to be ready today for the niche that you want to pick. Again, the not so obvious best practice is don't sell to broke people. Don't sell to people who are not going to take action. I have done that too, like trying to make people want to be in business, trying to make people want, like, I'll hold space for you while you get your act together. No, don't hold space for somebody who isn't saying, look, I need some accountability. I need some direction. I need some guidance. I need some feedback, but I really do want to do this. Yeah, I might get off track and you can help get me back on track, but I really want to do it. If you sell to somebody who needs a lot of explanation, it is a red flag. I literally had somebody who wanted to work with me in our VIP program less than a couple of weeks ago. We had 6 email exchanges, and I finally said I'd had a consultation with her, and it really broke my heart because I could help this lady, but she just kept asking more questions. And it was like, wait a minute, this is not going to work because you have too many questions that are like red flags. Don't sell to those people. If you can think of who those are, make sure that is not your niche client. And again, make sure you're selling to people who can decide for themselves what's best for themselves so that you're not held back by that. You came so that you can figure out who you're going to help, so that you can do more of what you know you're meant to do. And ultimately, that's the path to getting your business off the ground. Or maybe you have a business that you're not crystal clear on this. You've got a website, you're out there on social media and nothing's happening. I can almost guarantee you we could go back to niche and we could find out that you're not making any money because you're not real crystal clear about your niche. Today, the only decision that you make is not by making a decision. I hope you guys are coming up with a niche that you're like, okay, this is the one. The fastest way to grow your business is to be a good decision maker. I used to always in January do one of these workshops that I do. It was all about the fastest way to grow your business. And it was all about making decisions. The entire workshop was. So you guys know, I do listen to my own intuition, the God-given intuition for me. Maybe you have a spirit inside of you, whatever it is. Chances are you know what your niche should be. Quit arguing with yourself about it. You are a person who wants to be in business. You are somebody who wants to coach people. You can become the go-to expert by just deciding that's what you are. It really is that simple. And then the most difficult part, as I started out in the beginning saying, is deciding and not changing your mind. All right, so let's just check for alignment. The best niche is the one you know already. That's the best niche. You already know it. The best niche you never have to study one more thing for. The best niche is the one that you can talk about forever. I want to be clear for a minute, just pause. What just came into my mind is what I'll call hobby coaches. That's not negative. I don't mean that to sound negative when I say that if you feel like that's you, but make sure you separate out what you love that is your hobby with what could be your business. You can continue to do what you love that is your hobby, the learning that's making you feel great and that's growing you. But we do need to make sure we got the best niche, right? The one that you can find the people that you can talk about, the one that will buy the coaching from you. That's the niche that you actually have to have. So you might have to separate those. Sometimes I tell people like, look, that one is your weekend thing that you do 5 days a week while you're trying to make money. This is the one that we need to make money with. And then again, we have to know how to market to that person. Any niche can be a profitable niche. Every single niche that you have can be a profitable niche. The only thing that makes it a profitable niche is by you putting yourself out there. Yes, we can go through all this deciding, and I can help you say the odds are this niche is going to be better, or I know about this, there's more people that are paying for support in this niche right now in our marketplace or whatever. I can do all that with you. But ultimately, the only way that you make money in your business is by putting yourself out there. You do have to hold the identity of that coach, but you also have to embody being a person who has a business. Creating a profitable coaching business is a person who has a business. Your action steps today are to decide on your niche. What I help women do is build a business for a lifetime. I really want you to hear that. You decide, and everybody that's here is not thinking like, I think I'll do this for a couple of years. I'm 61 and I have no intention of retiring. I don't know when I would retire. Why would I retire? We build a business that we're going to have forever. Do this foundational work once and then act like the expert that you are. Yeah. And then get some help. I'm going to tell you how I can help you. And I am going to answer your questions. Let me walk through what we have going on. We have some very exciting things. We have some pricing that's increasing. I do want to tell you, if you have any interest at all, stay and let me explore this with you. I am going to share pricing, all of that. The Business Building Boutique. This is where we help you build your boutique style coaching business. If you weren't here in the beginning, this is that concept of me helping you treat your business as if it is a boutique down the street. It doesn't have to be a fancy boutique, but it's a door that you go and you unlock the door, you open it up, and you walk in and you treat it like a business. 2026, I think it's the first year since I've been working with coaches, and I've been working with coaches since 2021 exclusively. I think this is the year that everything changes. I really do. I think there's been a lot of people not understanding coaching. I think this can be an incredible year. I would love to be able to support you on your journey. Trying harder, you might be saying, oh, I'm just going to try harder. I'm so inspired. I'm going to do it. I'm going to start posting tomorrow. If that is what you're thinking right now, you would have already done it. Every week that you wait, every year that you wait. All right, let me stop and get Tice on here. Hey, Tice, do you want to? I'm going to pin you. You can be on the spotlight. There you go. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Can you guys all see me?
Yeah, we can see you. Yep.
Okay, I'm Tice Glenn. I am the business mindset coach here inside of BBB. This is our loving name for the program. And my main job here is to support you, help you to achieve the goals that you set. We're pretty clear that even though Debbie says, like, I will tell you what to do, it's still up to you, right? And it's still what you want. We help you figure out what you want. If you are our clients, it's because we truly believe that you can create the business, that you are creating the business, right? We take your goals very seriously. Debbie always says that as soon as you give her money, it's like our responsibility to do everything that we can to support you.
I would love to be able to help you guys. So thank you so much for joining us. And I hope to see you in our group. That's really what I hope. So you guys have a beautiful day.